talking about recess now, have you gotten the prayers in your mailbox as promised by the Senate President?
No, actually, I haven't. I didn't receive any prayers, but I will check my email for the prayers. But that's it. No.
So you're not enjoying your recess because the Senate President has said the token will drop in your accounts so that you can enjoy your recess.
Truthfully, I don't know what he was talking about, but most people assume that maybe allowances may be paid, but they may be statutory things that would have been paid anyway. I don't think it was anything extra that we're supposed to be given.
I mean, coming from a Labour Party...
I certainly haven't seen anything extra yet.
Yeah, coming from a Labour Party, for example, and considering the situation of the country, the National Assembly has been heavily hit as one of the most, the senators and lawmakers in Nigeria, highest paid in the world. And those who said this is alarming.
Yes, truthfully, that is so. But I know that I can't change anything. Truthfully, we cannot continue like this. I was hoping that things would change with this election. It doesn't seem to have much, but we will make changes that we can make. But we're also new in the Senate. We're trying to find our feet. We're trying to get to know the run of the place. So they have to give us a little bit of time to see the impact that we can make as well. A few weeks is too early to judge us in the Senate.
No, ma, you don't have so much time. We will not allow you to have so much time. I want Nigerians to look at this particular issue deliberately as we begin to criticize the 10th Senate, criticize Godswill Akpabio, the Senate President, as well as the composition and the body language of the Senate. We must again begin to look at the people that rode to power of popular vote. I'm not talking about power blocks. I'm not talking about anointed candidates. People that were voted into power by the people that had no chances of going to the Senate or going to the National Assembly. We must begin to question them right now. It's been over 3 months right now. Yeah, okay, over 2 months now after the inauguration of the 10th Senate. And we want to start asking the questions. We want to start, because the silence is deafening. I want Nigerians to share this video. Let it get to all of them. The 8 senators represent the Labour Party, of course, that we call our own, and the 35 House of Rep members composing of the National Assembly as well. Those of you, 43 of you, you need to watch this video. You need to get back to us. Because, of course, I understand that legislation is all about majority. But we want to begin to hear your voice. Of course. Majority will have their way. That will not stop the minority from having their say. We want to hear your voice on some of these very important issues. We hear monies are exchanging hands already. Oh, we hear that a lot of things are happening already. We hear vehicles that are Nigerian money being asked to use to buy new vehicles, change equipment and change facilities in the National Assembly. That's not a problem. You need to be comfortable to do your job. But we want to know what your opinions are on this matter. Because as I talk to you, what the National Assembly leaders is trying to do is to ensure that they send an information back to the populace that all of you are one, and that will hamper the progress we want to make about electing viable, effective, efficient, and accountable leadership in this country. Politicians want to make you sink in the same boat, ride on the same mud water, and if you are not careful, whatever we have achieved in the last 1 year of this democratic progress of this country would be turned to shambles, and it will be very, very disastrous. We'll be back to where we were. One of the things that has put us in this country is a compromised and timid opposition. In fact, the reason why Nigeria is not progressing is that politicians have got prizes. They move from one party to another. How many politicians still have the ideology of remaining in the party and say the ideology of this party resonates with my ideology and I want to make progress with it? Of course, there has been prostitutions and several hopping from one party to another just because they want power, right? And that's why the politicians or the interested Nigerians who do not have anybody in government, in politics, or do not have sponsors, do not go anywhere. 43 of you go to the National Assembly on popular vote with the support, without even hope. I'm sure I'll just chatting with my friends. The guy representing the Edo South Senatorial District, Barrister Neda, distinguished Senator Neda Emaswe, would not have stood against the two big parties in Edo State, for example. The PDP feeded a former state legislator who has been in politics for years. Talking about Matthew Joekeme. As of 1999, while I was still in secondary school, Matthew Joekeme was both NDDC commissioner for Edo State and a member of the State House of Assembly. Then also against another business mogul and oil magnate, Valentine Aswen, who owns DVD Oil. So Barrister Neda Emaswen would not have in any way smelled the Senate if not for the people that loved Peter Obi, loved the party. Barrister Neda Emaswen would not be in the house now and sit and be quiet, silence his consent over something. Of course, I saw a video of him trying to speak on a particular matter after Keyamu's apology was accepted, but then they did not allow them to screen. I want you to watch that video at least. Maybe this is one of the few persons that we can say they are speaking of. Watch the video.
Point of order by distinguished Senator Neda.
Order 10. Distinguished President sitting as chair, if I have your indulgence, may I please read it? Order 10. Any senator may rise at any time to speak upon a matter of privilege, suddenly arraigned, and he shall be prepared to move without notice a motion declaring that the contempt or breach of his privilege has been committed. Mr. President, this motion being moved is to cut all of us up from any question that we still have to ask the nominee. We will accept his apology. No, we still have questions. No, we still, can we not ask questions? You are cutting me off. You are cutting us off. You are cutting us off. Okay, Mr. President, may
I? Point of order. Point of order noted.
Well, like you see in that video, his voice was shut down. His mic was even put off, right? And if care is not taken, the idea of the National Assembly is to continually put this Labour Party and the rest of the opposition into a dungeon and not allow them have their say or have their way in the house. Because, of course, they are the majority. While this is being done, you should not keep quiet. We should not keep quiet. The Nigerian people wants to hear your voices on several of these issues. We hear monies were sent, and even if it turned to being emails, they should check their mailboxes, of course. But we must continue to hear your voice as it appears. The Nigerian people needs to hear you. There is no magic that will happen between the PDP and the APC. They are one and the same. We must settle that. So if the Labour Party seems to be the party that will represent the interests of the people, and we will not allow you guys to sit and enjoy the largesse as against the. I am not saying you should not enjoy it. You cannot reject these monies, but I want to hear your voices. I want to speak up and speak out. We are tired of having a rubber stamp legislation or legislator that continue to rob the ego of the executive as against the programs and policies of government that should be for the benefit of the Nigerian people. Don't allow them to rob you the same more, because the work of these politicians is to ensure that they sell an agenda that all of you are one and the same. And that's what they want to do now. And it's almost looking like that. So, Madam Ireti Kingibe, distinguished Senator Ireti Kingibe, there is no time to look at time. But we now said that your voices must be heard. Continue. And if you are speaking in the Senate and the issues are not getting out, please use your media to sell it. I know what I'm saying, no. Because words on the street is indicating that you guys are not doing enough, that you have joined. Of course, we are aware of how you guys voted, right? And of course, it was fine. There is no way there would have been a speaker or a Senate president from the Labour Party or from any of the minority party. But you chose based on certain things. We had speculations of monies. These are things you should not allow to die with you, to remain with you. If speak out and speak up at every given time. Speak for the Nigerian people. 43 of you. There should be an engine of support you enjoy by the Nigerian people. We must continue to speak up and speak out. I want you to share this video until you meet with all of them. It gets to them at their aids. I don't have any contact with anybody. A while ago, somebody was going to give me Senator Neda Iman's, but I said no, I don't need it. I'm not at this level of my progress. God is helping me. I don't need to begin to speak to anybody for any favor, for anything. But I want you people to realize that the Nigerian people needs to hear your voices, and that's why I want all of you to share this video. It should get to them. But it's another man saying, well done for what you are doing. It's not like that guy that went to one meeting in Aso Rock and came back and said it is not what people said about Tinubu. That one is a regret. And a lot of you we hear, a lot of you are in the Senate and the House of Rep, and it was a regrettable action by the people that voted you. It's obviously not everybody that flew the Mama Papa Pikin logo that deserved to be in the Senate. We thought you had the same agenda with the principal and the presidential candidate. But of course, some of you are going there for your selfish reasons. But those of you that still have the interest of the people at heart, that understand that as at 2019, no Labour Party legislator was in the House of Rep or Senate. As I talk to you now in 2023, we have 43 of you. That can only be God and by the people. Don't disappoint the people. Don't disappoint the people. Again, don't disappoint the people. Become that viable opposition. The PDP do not have the capacity. They are compromised. They are timid. Become that viable opposition that the Nigerian people speak out. The vehicles issue, the policy and program, the screening. Oh Lord, you pay me, Sha. No Labour Party. Oh God. Oh, no wahala. I will continue to do this video every week until we hear a resounding effect and efficiency of those of you in the House of Rep and in the Senate of your viability. Distinguished senators and honorable members of the House of Representatives, do not allow the sufferings in this country to continue. Speak out and speak up. Use your platform, use the media, use your time in the House to effect specific changes in specific areas. Continue to have town hall meetings and engagement with the people. Don't allow these politicians to rub you in the mud. Oh God. You will spoil all the progress we have made as a people. You will spoil it. Share this video and let it get to them. And let it get to all Nigerians. That's the difference between us and them. You know that in their side, anything that the people do is correct. But in us, we call ourselves to order. This is not a criticism. It's a call to action. God help Nigeria.
Talking about recess now, have you gotten the prayers in your mailbox as promised by the Senate President?
No, actually, I haven't. I didn't receive any prayers, but I will check my email for the prayers. But that's it. No.
So you're not enjoying your recess because the Senate President said the token will drop in your account so that you can enjoy your recess.
Truthfully, I don't know what he was talking about, but most people assume that maybe allowances may be paid, but they may be statutory things that would have been paid anyway. I don't think it was anything extra that we're supposed to be given.
I mean, coming from a Labour Party...
I certainly haven't seen anything extra yet.
Yeah, coming from a Labour Party, for example, and considering the situation of the country, the National Assembly has been heavily hit as one of the most, the senators and lawmakers in Nigeria, highest paid in the world. And those who said this is alarming, coming from a Labour Party, for example, do you feel alarm also? There are some parts of the lifestyle, the cost to run the National Assembly that you feel uncomfortable with.
Yes, truthfully, that is so. But I know that I can't change anything. So I have a development office for which any things that are not necessary. I have a constituency office. I also have a development office where I do development programs for the people. And hopefully anything extra I put in, any allowances, obviously I'm new, we've been paid very little, but as they come in, a lot of it will go towards funding that office, the development programs.
But as it is right now, with the manner in which what Nigerians are facing, and I'm very certain that there are families who are watching now tonight, they're not confident of what they will eat. They're not certain of the kind of roof that will be above their heads tonight. And you look at even the measurement and the statistics coming out about the rate of poverty in our land. I mean, what comes to your mind when they talk about politicians, 109 of yourself, and it talks about the kind of vehicle that will help you do your job? Do you feel that it is morally right to get these kind of things? Although you said you cannot change things, but I mean, your party has spoken up about your principal, Mr. Peter Obi, had said, look, Nigeria, we cannot continue like this. Do you feel somehow that we cannot really continue like this? If you have your way, Senator, what would you change?
Truthfully, we cannot continue like this. I was hoping that the things would change with this election. It doesn't seem to have much, but we're all new. The president is new, so maybe he still has other things to do. Some of the things that I would do, for one thing, that I think would help, and this is my utopian view of Nigeria. You're telling me if I had my way what I would do, I can tell you some of the things I would do. I would insist that all government vehicles be bought. The vehicles must have been assembled in Nigeria. That will go a long way to improving productivity in Nigeria. For one thing, Innocent, perhaps Volkswagen and Peugeot, and maybe even Toyota might decide that it's worth their while to set up an assembly plant here. Certain things like tin tomatoes, a few local things should not be imported. Yes, we would have a short period of some kind of inconvenience, but those are the things that will bring down the dollar to naira, and that will also help grow our economy. Those are some of the things that I would do. I personally ride a 1986 car. I'm not particular about vehicles. As long as it moves, it's fine with me. So I am not, but as you can see, whenever people talk about us Labour senators, there are only 8 of us. And in a democracy, the minority will have their say, but at the end of the day, the majority will have their way. We will make changes that we can make, but we're also new in the Senate. We're trying to find our feet. We're trying to get to know the run of the place. So they have to give us a little bit of time to see the impact that we can make as well. A few weeks is too early to judge us in the Senate.
Point of order by the civil Senator Neda.
Order 10. Distinguished President sitting as chair, if I have your indulgence, may I please read it? Order 10. Any senator may rise at any time to speak upon a matter of privilege, suddenly and he shall be prepared to move without notice a motion declaring that the contempt or breach of his privilege has been committed. Mr. President, this motion being moved is to cut all of us up from any question that we still have to ask the nominee. We will accept his apology. No, we still have questions. No, can we not ask questions? You are cutting me off. You are cutting us off. You are cutting us off. Okay, Mr. President, may
I? Point of order. Point of order noted.